Today, Tucker Carlson launched the first ever episode of his new show on Twitter. Okay, so we're going to react to it in today's video. I'm not going to do this for every single Tucker Carlson show, but, you know, I figured first one, might as well sit down, watch it, enjoy it, show some support, because I'm sure there's a YouTube crowd who doesn't use Twitter. So here it is, ladies and gentlemen. First episode of the Tucker Carlson Twitter show. Is it any good? I don't know. Haven't seen it. Time to find out. Let's take a listen.
Hey, it's Tucker Carlson. This morning, it looks like somebody blew up the Kakhovka Dam in southern Ukraine. The rushing wall of water wiped out entire villages, destroyed a critical hydropower plant, and as of tonight, puts the largest nuclear reactor in Europe in danger of melting down. So if this was intentional, it was not a military tactic, it was an act of terrorism.
Correct. By the way, you guys digging this whole, what is he? He's like in his house. He's in his barn. Barnyard Tucker, let's go.
The question is, who did it? Well, let's see. The Kakhovka Dam was effectively Russian. It was built by the Russian government. It currently sits in Russian-controlled territory. The dam's reservoir supplies water to Crimea, which has been, for the last 240 years, home of the Russian Black Sea Fleet. Blowing up the dam may be bad for Ukraine, but it hurts Russia more. And for precisely that reason, the Ukrainian government has considered destroying it. In December, the Washington Post quoted a Ukrainian general saying his men had fired American-made rockets at the dam's floodgate as a test strike. So really, once the facts start coming in, it becomes much less of a mystery what might have happened to the dam. Any fair person would conclude that the Ukrainians probably blew it up.
Just like Nord Stream, by the way. That came out today. The Washington Post confirmed, actually, yeah, Ukraine did blow up Nord Stream. It was not Russia. So I'd have to imagine it's the same thing here. The U.S. government's going to deny it. Biden's going to deny it. A few months later, the truth will come out. But that does tell you a lot. Okay, so it's one thing, okay, flood a city, whatever. It's warfare, I get it. But that puts, like he said, Europe's largest nuclear reactor in jeopardy. So you're talking about an ecological, like, human rights disaster that you may have on your hands, okay? And allegedly, this is what Ukraine has done. Now, before you pretend like, oh, well, whatever, that's Ukraine, why do we care? So we're the ones giving Ukraine billions of dollars here. We're the sole force in the world, basically, keeping them in the fight. You mean to tell me we don't have leverage, we don't have influence? So either way, in some way, there was a failure of leadership here, right? Because either A, much like Nord Stream, the U.S. signed off on destroying this thing that would potentially cause a nuclear meltdown, and we don't care because, I don't know, Biden is evil like that. Or B, we did not use our leverage and we just recklessly let the Ukrainians do it, which is negligent, and I don't think that's any better. So either way, there's a lot of explaining to do here. So good on Tucker. Good opening story here. I mean, I didn't even hear about this, but, you know, Tucker is based.
Nord Stream, the Russian natural gas pipeline, last fall. And in fact, the Ukrainians did do that, as we now know. It's not like Vladimir Putin is anxious to wage war on himself. Oh, but that's where you're wrong, Mr. and Mrs. Cable News consumer. Vladimir Putin is exactly that sort of man, the sort of man who'd shoot himself to death in order to annoy you. We know this from the American media, which wasted no time this morning in accusing the Russians of sabotaging their own infrastructure. Bill
that doesn't even make logical sense. Why would they do that?
Saddam Hussein was responsible for 9/11. Immediately denounced Putin as a war criminal and even more savagely compared him to Donald Trump. The rest of the pundit class made similar, clearly coordinated noises. Putin did it! Putin did it! And their reasoning was simple. Putin is evil, and evil people do evil things purely for the dark joy of being evil. In this specific case,
we can ask him, okay? As you know, I work for Vladimir Putin. I am a registered Russian agent, so let's just call him right now. All right. Vladimir Putin. Yo, what's up, boss? So, you know, I'm on the stream right now. I want to know, you know, the people are asking, did you blow up the Kosovo Dam, whatever it's called? No? Okay, he said he didn't, Jack. He said I don't know. He said he didn't, so, you know. Obviously, I have him on a personal, you know, line, because Russian agent, you know, as you know. But
act himself, which is the most...
That's a joke, by the way, YouTube. That's a joke.
Evil thing you can do and therefore perfectly in character for a man that evil. That was their explanation. No one who's paid to cover these things seemed to entertain even the possibility it could have been the Ukrainians who did it. No chance of that. Ukraine, as you may have heard, is led by a man called Zelensky. And we can say for a dead certain fact that he was not involved. He couldn't have been. Zelensky is too decent for terrorism.
Right.
Now, you see him on television, and it's true you might form a different impression. Sweaty and rat-like, a comedian turned oligarch, a persecutor of Christians, a friend of BlackRock.
True.
But don't believe your own eyes. Actually, Mr. Zelensky is a very good man. The best, really. As George W. Bush once noted, he is...
They're so naive. You know, all of Eastern Europe is corrupt. Is this a surprise? The liberals think Russia's the only corrupt nation in Eastern Europe. No, they're all corrupt, right? And you see this in the propaganda. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure Russia does a lot of propagandizing or whatever, but it's like... The Ghost of Kiev, yeah. Like that, the Ghost of Kiev story is a typical Eastern European just made up propaganda. And you hear this even like both sides claim they're about to win the war every single day. Oh, yes, we're about to win. Do not worry about it. It will be done. It will be done. You know, it's okay. You know, they're both sides. Why? Because it's like both countries are Eastern European mafia states, okay? The difference is one is supported by the U.S. and the other is against the U.S. Like, that's the only real difference besides some other things. Obviously, there are other differences, you know, ideological, whatever. But at its core, this is what you're talking about here. But it's always funny seeing the Russia-Ukraine thing because they always assume Ukraine would never lie to us. It's Eastern Europe, okay? Everyone is, hey, we're about to win. Okay, do not worry. Both of them, okay? You have Gru, Despicable Me in one country, and then he's fighting Gru number 2 in the other country. That's what Eastern Europe is. That's basically Eastern European politics. Don't kid yourself.
Our generation's Winston Churchill. Of all the people in the world, our shifty, dead-eyed Ukrainian friend in the tracksuit is uniquely incapable of blowing up a dam. He's literally a living saint, a man in whom there is no sin. That's why Lindsey Graham is so attracted to him. They're just...
There's something you couldn't say on Fox, implying Lindsey Graham is a closeted homosexual, which is, from the sources I have heard, that is allegedly also true.
Two good people hanging out together and being good. And like all good people, when they meet him...
See, you guys don't see what Tucker was doing. I see. I caught that 100%.
Person, they spend a lot or time talking about killing people and laughing like friends do. Here's the
that was intentional word choice.
Free or die.
Free or die.
Now you are free.
Yes.
And we will be.
And the Russians are dying.
It's the best money we've
Listen
ever
to the
spent.
guy.
Thank you so much.
No, it's...
The Russians are dying. It's the best money we've ever spent, Graham says. A smile spreads across his thin...
Look at Zelensky. You know, they're all like this is Eastern European politics, like I said. And some of them over in Eastern Europe are kind of more based. You could say mafia bosses. The other ones are more liberal ones, but it's all fundamentally the same. It's all a bunch of mafia guys. And you say, hey, yes, we're killing lots of Russian. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I'm sure Volodymyr Zelensky is telling the truth. Yeah, surely, yeah.
Quivering lips as he forms the words. He looks like a starving man contemplating a breakfast buffet. The aroma of death has aroused Lindsey Graham. Thanks so much, replies Zelensky. He feels the same way. See, there's nothing dark here. Just two middle-aged guys celebrating the killing of a population. They don't seem like the kind of people who enjoy flooding villages or starting a famine. And in any case, who cares if they are? It's really not your business. Your job is to support Ukraine. Watch Nikki Haley, a Republican.
Your job to support us, yes. Do not worry. We doing good thing with money. We don't send to, you know, enrich pocket and buy prostitute. We definitely... Well, don't worry. We're using all of it, okay? It's going to good place. No, you do not need to audit it. Don't need to audit. We got okay. You send 80 billion, okay. I got it, friend. Then you send another, okay. That is literally this war. That is this war. Small grading guy for $2 says Zelensky did 714. He did. It's true.
Republican
Thank you for the two.
Candidate for president explained this principle on CNN.
A win for Ukraine is a win for all of us.
Here's another stable genius. We got stable genius 1, stable genius 2 over here.
And for them to sit there and say that this is a territorial dispute, That's just not the case. To say that we should stay neutral, it is in the best interest of America. It's in the best interest of our national security for Ukraine to win. We have to see this through.
Why?
We have to finish it.
To fund one corrupt Eastern European country against another one? Hey, do not worry. Okay.
See? It's very easy to understand. It is vitally important for you to support Ukraine because it's necessary for Ukraine to be supported by you. Your support is mandatory until it's finished, whatever it is, and whatever that means.
Which is an unrealistic
So shut
goal.
up and support Ukraine, or else you're in trouble. Back when they still taught logic, statements like this were known as tautologies. Something is true because it is. The more you repeat it, the truer it becomes. It's a self-reinforcing reality. There was a time when tautologies were considered illegitimate arguments, not to mention hilariously stupid. Only dumb people talk like that. Now everybody in power talks like that.
Zelensky just bought his parents a $40 million mansion. I did not, Kurt Steven, I don't know if that's true, if it is. It's exactly what I'm saying, though. Hey, yes. Oh, thank you for 80 billion, Mr. Biden. We put this all in good place. Hey, Jack. Why did you buy a $1 million mansion, $40 million mansion for your parents? Do not worry, okay? No, listen, you don't need to ask questions, okay? Relax. Okay, that's what's happening. Hey guys, Vince Dao here. Hope you enjoyed that clip from the Vince Dao Show. If you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you are new to the channel. And be sure to check out the Vince Dao Show live every weeknight here on this channel at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. It is a great show. Many are saying this. So leave a like, check out our other clips, and be sure to check out the show. Yeah. God bless.